Hello, Redken. My name is Rhonda Ellis, and this is my Redken Artist Audition video. I have been a Redken Color Certified Artist for 4 years now. I reside in Grand Junction, Colorado, which is the western slope of Colorado closest to the Utah border. Redken has always inspired me through education, and its brand continues over and over to reinvent itself. And that is such a vital piece of our industry. It is all about reinventing ourselves because we are a part of the fashion industry. And so as the years have gone by, I've watched things with Redken come and go and know that it's a part of how we maintain who we are, how we maintain being that top brand. I love that piece of Redken. I love that every time I've gone to an education event with Redken, I've walked away feeling inspired and uplifted and a part of the team. Never once have I been left to feel like I was left out or not worthy of being there. For these reasons, I want to become a Redken artist. I want to share that feeling with others. I want to show them that this brand continues to reinvent itself so that we stay on the top every single time. And not only with that, it's easy to use, it's easy to understand. It's a wonderful product, it's tried and true, and every time you get that consistent results. Those are my reasons for wanting to be a Redken artist. And I'm really excited to be here today doing this video for you. I have been a Redken Color Certified Artist for 4 years, and I am currently the program supervisor for Intellitech Cosmetology School located in the western part of Colorado in a rural town called Grand Junction, Colorado. We are located on the western slope closest to Utah. This school in which I currently run, I'm the program supervisor, has 15 instructors, 2 front desk employees, and over 120 students, all utilizing and living the Redken best life. I will be sharing with you today an express highlight technique that we can use within the salon with maximum results and minimal amount of time. It's definitely going to be a lived-in look, but it's going to create beautiful brightness around the face, bringing that eye into that money piece and slowly, gradually fading out towards the back. So we'll really get that face framing effect from it, and it will be quick. It'll be a very fast, easy technique that we can do for those people who are on the fly. I started this service today by offering my guest a pre-art treatment. The reason why I did this prior to a highlight is because I'm really looking to remove any of those impurities that may hinder my highlight going through. I really was looking for that nice, clean, even canvas before I started. My next step was that I parted her off into what looks like a very large triangle. So we started from the corners of both eyes and moved back to behind the apex, or right below the high point of the head. I do want to point out right here that you'll notice that is not a very sharp point, and that I rounded that point out, that I used my parting to round it out. I tried to make it a very clean parting and kept that very clean. Again, there we go. You can see on both sides. It's even on both sides. I've started my express technique by taking a small slice across the front that I can see my hand through. So no more than that 1/4 of an inch. Then I'm going to go in with my foil and lay it down. And I'm going to come in with my lightener and place it a little bit away from just right at the edge of zone 1. So about 1 inch to 2 inches away from the zone 1 area. And then I'm going to pull it all the way through, really making sure I get that saturation that I'm looking for. Bringing it down. And then I'm just going to kind of fold in my ends versus spaghetti swirling them in, just folding them in nice and neatly. Making sure again that I have a very good saturation. Now at this point I like to use my edge brush. And I love this brush because it has those softer bristles. And because I'm looking for that lived in color, I really want to kind of go in and push on that top to just kind of make it blend in a little bit better. I'm looking for that real soft effect towards the top. The other thing I could do is I could come in and use my brush vertically as well to make that blend in. But the truth is I really do prefer to use my Redken edging brush to soften that line. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to clean off my fingers just so that I'm really sure not to get color where I don't want it or highlighter where I don't want it. Now I'm going to continue to make those 1/4 inch sections and bring them towards the front. So another 1/4 inch section, nice clean sliced section. You notice I didn't put another foil down, but I'm going to bring this one in and it kind of sets right on top. And I'm going to start in the same area I started with the last one. So over and over, I'm going to continue to place down my lightener. I can fold this in, or the other option I would have is to use a longer foil or extend this foil. Just fold those pieces in. Really making sure I have nice, even saturation. We want it to look like frosting a cake so that we can just barely see that hair through it. Again, I can come in and I can blur out that line by utilizing my brush in a vertical fashion. The other thing I really want you to pay attention to is that I'm not working up the hair shaft. My reason for that is because we know that our cuticles lay down, the cuticle of the hair shaft lays this direction, and by working up it, I'm pushing that hair in there, and we can actually have further damage on the hair by doing that. So again, I've picked up my edge brush, and I'm going to just kind of blur that line out. If I get a little overzealous there, I'll just kind of use my finger to continue to make sure it's nice and smooth transition, excuse me. Again, you'll notice I do not put down another foil, but I take another 1/4 inch parting. Nice and clean as we can. And pick it up, and we are going to lay it right down on top. See how it just kind of sticks right on there. Then we're going to reload our brush again, just making sure I'm working very clean, placing it right down where I did the last product line. As you can see, it's about 1 inch to 2 inches away from out from that scalp, or at the edge of that zone 1, because we are creating an expressed lived in color. And I just fold those ends in. Just working that product through those ends, making sure everything is nice and saturated. Again, I can come in utilizing the brush in a vertical fashion, and then utilizing my edge brush, to come in and blur that line out so that I have no harsh line of demarcation. I notice I have a little bit of buildup right there. I want to just kind of smooth that out. There we go. We're going to continue this all the way back through this entire triangle. So another 1/4 inch section. And you can see that my mannequin has quite the cowlick right there. It obviously was, okay. Placing it down, it sticks right into my product. So it adds a little bit extra control for me right at that same product line that I created at the very first section. Trying to work very clean and very organized. And you can see as I go, I'm getting less and less that I have to fold in. Folding that little tail in. There we go. Utilizing my edge brush. All right, next section. The further back we go into this section that we created, the quicker this is going to become. So right now, we're really utilizing a lot of lightener to get it saturated, but as we go, we'll see that we use less and less. The other thing I want you to notice is that, see through, you can see my hand through that section, so no bigger than 1/4 of an inch, coming down and starting at that same area that we established in that very first section that we took. Working that product through, making sure it's good and saturated. I've got just a slight tail, so I'm going to fold it in nice and neatly. Make sure it's completely saturated. And again, each and every time with my edge brush, just to soften that look, soften that edge. I'm going to tilt my guest's head forward slightly. There we go. And we can really see that 1/4 of an inch section that we're taking now. Keeping all of my hair pinned up out of the way. Pushing that right down. And back to that section. Again, this is a very lived-in look. It should be very quick. I have slowed it down slightly for camera purposes, but our guests, you know those guests that come in and they're just in a hurry, but they really want a lightning service, and they want the max that they can get. They want the max effect. I've noticed that my edge brush has got a little product buildup, so I want to be really sure that I clean that off so that I don't get my product on any of the hair that I don't want to get saturated. The other thing I want you to notice is, yes, we are wider than that peace sign. So the reason why that's okay in this particular look is because we're already doing that lived-in look. So it's okay that we're pulling it a little to the center. Next section. Same thing. Tuck those tails in. I chose to use, for this particular look, I am using the Flash Lift with bonder inside because I'm always thinking about the integrity of my guest's hair. And I'm using 40 volume with that. And the reason why I chose 40 volume was to be sure, the reason why I chose 40 volume was because I am working in an express service. So this is a very quick service, and my 40 volume should be just fine to use without doing too much damage to the integrity of my guest's hair, especially since we are also utilizing the flash lift with bonder inside. So we have done what we need to do so that she can walk away with nice, healthy hair and still get that maximum result. So this is my last section that I'm going to show you, and then I'm just going to fast forward through the next few sections. Again, we're just taking everything to that exact same line that we established when we first did our first section. I'm just kind of liking the way that looks by utilizing both my edge brush and my color brush vertically. I just really like the way that's blending in right now, so I'm going to continue to use that. You can see as I go, I utilize that product that I already have on there to gain control over my sectioning while I pin the rest of the hair up. And now what we're going to see is that we have little to no hair making it over the edge. So again, just using my brush vertically and utilizing my edge brush, both to make sure that I have a very soft effect for my lived-in look. So I'm utilizing that product by just pushing that hair into it. Helps me gain control. She does have some little flyaways. Looks like she's got some little pieces hanging out. That's okay. They won't affect us. Tilt my guest's head forward a little bit. You see we're coming right past, starting to move into that back portion. I have no hair that's hanging over the edge anymore. Right to the edge. Making sure I have a nice, even saturation. Working that line so it stays nice and soft. Getting a nice band of color on my brush. Softening out that line. as you can see, I'm coming in and there is just right towards the end, I'm getting very little hair left, but I am consistent with still making sure I blur it out, making sure that it's evenly saturated every single time. And if I get my hands dirty so that I don't get my product where I don't want it, I make sure that I clean it off. Make sure that I'm working as clean as possible. We can see I'm getting very little hair. That's reaching all the way forward. So it's becoming easier and easier. And I am almost there. Almost to the end. I've got very little hair that's actually reaching, but I am still going to blend it in. Make sure it's evenly saturated. And all the way forward. I have just very little bit of hair that made it all the way. Utilizing my edge brush to fade it out. All right, as you can see, I have pulled it all the way forward. Now I'm going to cover it, and I might use 1 or 2 foils. Let me just take a look. Looks like 1 will work. I'm going to cover it and let it process. Because this is an express service, I am going to look at it in that 30-minute mark. I want to see if I can remove or if I've got it lifted to the desired result. So I gently picked it up and moved it out of my guest's way and pinned it right there on the top of her head so that she can read a magazine, look at her phone, and just relax for her 30 minutes. We'll be back with the look that we get in 30 minutes. Welcome back. Our ending process time ended in 45 minutes. At that time, we rinsed and shampooed her with Color Extend Blondage Purple Shampoo and Conditioner. We took her back to our station, dried, and applied our toner. My formulation for toner was 09NB and 09GI. My thoughts behind that is because I really did want it to stay warm without being cool and kind of give us those champagne beige effects. I believe we accomplished that, and here is a look at our overall end result. And you can see how nice and smooth we ended with that and how dramatic of effect we got. I did also style her out in some waves. However, if you would like to see this effect on straight hair, I do have another video on my Google Classroom page where you can see how we did that again and how it looks when it's smooth. For this purposes, I decided to go with curls. There's our overall effect. You can see it's a very dramatic effect. It's very quick, again, for utilizing behind the chair when our guest is in a hurry or they've come in and want us to kind of work them in between other people. We can get a very fast, dramatic effect really quick. And it's absolutely gorgeous. Those money pieces and that lived-in color are just so in right now. So it really turned out great. After processing her toner for 20 minutes so that we had a nice, strong toner that wouldn't fade on her within the week when she got home, we want to make sure that we utilize that full 20 minutes on 80% or drier hair. I rinsed her at the sink and brought her back to my chair and used One United for a detangling and some shine, as well as a leave-in conditioner. And then I used our big blowout for a heat protection from my blow dryer, as well as that nice cushiony silky feel that it gives to the hair. To get that volume, I used our volume maximizer. just really in at the regrowth area or at the scalp area to give her that lift that she was looking for. After blow drying and using a round brush, I then used a 1-inch Marcel to create our beach waves that you see here. I utilized Wax Blast while I curled so that I would get that extreme texture and that separation in the hair. And then I used the Instant Deflate with Frizz Dismiss to run my fingers through the waves that we created. And of course, Control Addict to set that memory in so that she would be ready for her night out. Recommendations for take-homes for my guest would be the One United due to its multi-purpose and its thermal protect, the volumizing spray so that she could get that big, beautiful volume on her own at home, Wax Blast because that is my favorite, and to get that texture and that separated look, Wax Blast is number one. No arsenal is complete without it. I would also recommend the Instant Deflate to run her fingers through the hair. And of course, no style is complete without hairspray. And I would recommend the Control Addict. Those would be her take-homes. That completes my Redken audition video. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. I can't wait to see the next step in this process, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. Bye.